where we began to film, and then Chintu ji wasn't well. And then, unfortunately, we lost him, which was, to me, I was in shock. Those days, I was in shock. I couldn't believe this had happened because just few months before, 2 months before, I was on the sets with him.
Because I spoke to him when he passed away like barely a week or 10 days back, and actually we were exchanging memes on something related to food, and he said, Hitesh yaar, ye to film mein hona hi chahiye. So actually the idea was that maybe Ranbir would come on board with prosthetics and he will help us finish the film. So we were trying a lot of ways because Rishi Kapoor has a great legacy. One thing was just clear that both Hitesh, Farhan, everyone just said that whatever it takes, we'll finish the film. And Ranbir was more than happy, to help us in any way possible.
I remember once I was on a flight back from Delhi to Bombay, and we just happened to be sitting next to each other. Right? So he's sitting next to me and he's saying, "तो अब तू क्या कर रहा है?" So I said, I'm in prep for a movie. This that शुरू कब होने वाली? So I said, अगले साल जून में. अगले साल? Have you gone mad?
I happened to watch the trailer of Sharmaji Namkeen today, and my response to it was, what a delightful trailer. Also a very, very special film. And I have the entire cast and crew joining me for a conversation only on Bollywood Bubble. Welcoming Farhan Akhtar, Juhi Chawla, Hitesh and Taaruk Raina from the team of Sharmaji Namkeen with me. Thank you guys for doing this. Happy that we are finally doing it like this and not over Zoom calls, which is the best thing. We're tired. I think, मैंने तो hope ही छोड़ दिया था because it's the same conversation that you over Zoom, but it just does not travel. But when we talk about the movie traveling, it is a very special film. When I saw the trailer, of course, there was a side of me which, it breaks your heart at one point, but it also makes you smile, which is the beauty of it. And I'll tell you why in different parts of my interview. But how special is the movie to you? Because of the circumstances, because of the content, how special is the movie to all of you? We'll start with you.
I think we should start with
नहीं शुरू करो.
Well, it's difficult to really put into words here. I mean, there's such an emotional feeling attached to this film, because of Rishi uncle.
Yeah.
And I mean, before that, just to start with, his excitement for the film when I had spoken to him, when he had heard the script, and he spoke to Hitesh and he spoke to me and he said, I absolutely love it, and he was so excited about wanting to do it. Yeah. So I have all these memories, associated to the film. And when I see it now, I feel exactly like how you felt when you see the trailer. I mean, it brings a smile to your face, but it also on some level like kind of breaks your heart, and that's how I feel. But it's a very, very special film, and I'm very happy and very, very proud that given everything that's happened, I mean, the lockdowns that happened, many various things that came, in the way of the film being completed, that Hitesh, Ritesh, Honey, everyone just kind of like dug their heels in, and we said that we are going to see it through because it is Rishi ji's last outing as an actor, and it was important for us to have his audiences and his fans see that. So that was important.
What about you, Juhi ma'am?
Like he said, it's been... So I remember the first day he came over to my home and he narrated the script to me. And I loved it. I just enjoyed it so much. It was a joy. It was heartwarming. Somewhere it touched you emotionally. And then again it became and ended on a funny note again. So it was like the kind of film you want to see and you definitely want to be a part of it. As an actor, I envied Chintu ji because I was like, this is like just made for him. This is not fair. It is a brilliant role, a brilliant little film. Then, of course, series of incidents in between where we began to film, and then Chintu ji wasn't well. And then, unfortunately, we lost him, which was, to me, I was in shock. Those days, I was in shock. I couldn't believe this had happened because just few months before, 2 months before, I was on the sets with him. In between two, I had met him. What I find very touching was that after it did happen, he passed away, Ritesh called me up and he said, "You know what, Juhi? We're going to finish this film." And I was like, "Ritesh, that's so nice of you. It's how many people go that far. The easiest thing would have been to say, okay, let it go. It was not meant to be. But to say, no, we are going to make the effort." And at that moment, he had no idea how. He said, "I'm not sure how, but we will work a way out. It is Chintuji's last work and we must have it out." And I was like, I just thought that was wonderful of the producers to hold on that way.
Yeah, that
And
would have
they-
been my
and
next
then-
question, but
Yeah.
Even I
So-
felt that, there's a movie in Calcutta. Uttam Kumar is a celebrated, like, he's a superstar in Calcutta. His last film, he actually passed away on the sets. And this is something my mother tells me because it's a Pygmalion ka jo Bengali version, it was adapted from Pygmalion. It's a movie called Ogo Bodhu Shundari. And he passed away on the set. He had a heart attack. And a lot of the movie was remaining. So they got a body double, like somebody who looks like him, an actor, not a body double. I shouldn't be saying it, I'm not too sure. But I know that the other part of it was played by somebody who looks like him, but is not him. So you guys didn't even take that route, You guys, kudos to you guys, because this is a special film. It needed to be complete for the fans to see him one last time. Was it a difficult moment at that point for a producer and a director, like, कि क्या करे, क्या नहीं करे, क्या सूझ रहा था तभी?
I think it was a very, very tough time, to be honest, because we already had seen a lot, Rishi ji's health and cancer and everything. So the movie had already gone through a lot of things. So it was quite an emotional thing, and it actually came out of nowhere because I spoke to him when he passed away, like barely a week or 10 days back, and actually we were exchanging memes on something related to food, and he said, "Hitesh यार ये तो फिल्म में होना ही चाहिए." तो मैंने कहा हाँ अच्छा. He's like नहीं तू स्क्रिप्ट में alter कर कुछ when we resume, so it should be there. And suddenly, one day I got a call that he's no more. So, honestly, I just accepted the fact that the film is done for. Like, now it's just done. Like, there won't be any film. And I still remember, maybe I don't know if Farhan will remember, next day or the very next day, we had a call. Like, Farhan, Ritesh, Abhishek, Hani, and me. So we were all talking. So, of course, I'm down and out. Like, I've made my peace that now I've told my wife, कि यार अच्छे film अब बंद हो गई, अब नहीं बनेगी ये. And then Farhan said that, "I'm sure that you're down and out with this, but don't worry, we'll finish the film." And I'm like, Farhan, like, he's no more. Like, I understand that you want me to feel good, but like, he's no more. The film is done. He's like, "Don't worry, we'll figure out a way." And after the call also, I wasn't really excited about it. I wasn't sure about it. I couldn't understand ki iska kya matlab hai? How will we finish the film? He's not there. Then the series of discussions happened. Then Ranbir came in the picture. We spoke to him. But I must say that not just because Farhan is here, that because of the producer's intent, a solid, very solid intent right from day one, that this is Rishi ji's last film and we must finish it at whatever cost, whatever it takes. That then gave me the hope and the wings that okay, there must be some way. So it took us a lot of time to, come to terms. Again, the same discussion, again with Farhan and Abhishek, both told me then this casting of other actor, because I wasn't sure about it. It had never been done, and I just had no idea. This is my first film. So I was like, I don't know, that what will come out of it. Because Excel has a big legacy, Rishi Kapoor has a great legacy. This is my first film, so I don't want to just make something just to finish the film. So it was very, very, uncertain times, very tough times. But when Paresh ji came on board, which was very, very generous of him to,
And
because...
it looks similar. Can I tell you that? I know that you shot few scenes pehle ka, matlab, that it's not like the first half is this and second half is that, it will be in between. It doesn't look different. And I'm not saying it because I'm sitting with you. If it came across as that, I wouldn't have called it a delightful trailer. I actually felt like the mannerisms is very similar in both the Sharmajis that we have, to be very honest. It's a good thing. When you spoke to Ranbir, what did he speak to you? What did you guys speak about?
See, actually the idea was that, maybe Ranbir would come on board with prosthetics and, he will help us finish the film. So we were trying a lot of ways because one thing was just clear that both Ritesh, Farhan, everyone just said that whatever it takes, we'll finish the film. And Ranbir was more than happy, to help us in any way possible. So we were trying different ways, and then when nothing was working, then, this thought of casting another actor came. And again, as I said earlier, it took me a lot of time to accept the fact that this is a feasible option. And then everything just kind of fell in place.
You know, Taaruk, I have watched you and Preet being a friend of mine, and you guys are amazing at what you do. And then you did a show called Mismatched. I think you are one of the finest from the cast, and it's a brilliant cast. Having your first film and that going through so much of ups and downs, at any point did you lose hope? Like they said that there was a point that they were also losing hope.
It was very strange because like I kind of grew up in the film. Like it was like I auditioned for it when I was 22 years old. We finished it when I was 26.
Is that so?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So,
I didn't
4
think-
year? Did it take 4 years?
From the time of the audition.
from my
Yeah.
also
It must
like,
have been because
After
even
the
I don't
audition,
know
we
that.
might not have been sure about it.
but like so even when the audition came, I was like, oh, it's a role for Rishi Kapoor's son, so this is my chance to become Ranbir Kapoor. Right? So,
Now the truth comes out.
but no, it was a very, it's an experience like no other. Like we've gone through it. It became like a family that used to meet every 6 months. Like it used to be like that because it went through so much. I mean, one thing I do feel that, you know, when we met Rishi ji for the first time, it was a very intimidating experience for Sohail and I both.
Ask
And
me also.
yeah.
I've been scared. I didn't even ask him half of the questions I did. I was like, हाँ ठीक है, ठीक है. I was petrified.
I totally understand. But over time, we actually built like a relationship with him. He let his guard down with us, which was in his own nice little way. Like I was his tech help. Like I used to help him with his phone. Ka mera WhatsApp nahi chal raha hai. Okay, I was like, okay, I'll fix it. Like, you know, it was like we used to talk about food, and he warmed up to us. And by that time, we reached that equation. Very soon after that, we lost him. So it was very strange for us. It was like a void that we couldn't understand how to deal with. But yeah, it's been a surreal experience, to be honest. Like I'm sitting with people out of my league. Like I was working with people out of my league. I still don't understand how this is happening. Like, so for me, I'm kind of zapped.
You know, Rishi sir, like talking about that, when there have been very few occasions where I've been completely like numb. Before me, the person who went at that time, I used to write for a paper. So it used to be like a round table, ऐसे एक करके, and you could see, like while the other person's ending, you were already in the room. And I saw him lose his cool over a question, which was of course a wrong question. So I was like, oh God, it's like mood is off. What am I supposed to do? मैंने जितने भी सवाल लिखे थे, मैंने आधे से ज़्यादा तो पूछे नहीं, मैंने डर के पूछा है. And at the end of it, like towards the end of it, he's like, इतना डर के क्यों पूछ रहा है? ठीक ही तो पूछ रहा है, तो पूछ ले. And then I realized that he, you know, he's a softie at heart.
Yeah.
What I bonded with him, I used to talk to him over WhatsApp. He was doing a lot of those Bengali film remakes. So he used to ask me that, oh, is this movie good? So he was doing a film called Poshto, which could have happened if he was alive today, and it would be a very good film. So we used to talk about that. Not many people know that soft side, but because you guys have worked, people who have worked with him, people who know him closely know that he had a very, very soft side. Yeah. You have worked with him in 4 films before this, if I'm not wrong. What is your fondest memory of Rishi sir?
You asked me.
Again, line se jate.
Then please.
Yeah, we can start with you. You've done 4 films.
You've collaborated the most with
Yeah.
Okay, I have to say this. This was, to me, it has been the funniest, one of the funniest incidents. It was, so everybody's read the script, everybody's on board, and then before we are supposed to start shooting, the Hitesh and everybody, they say we shall have a script reading, cast reading. So, sari cast ko bulayenge, and it's wonderful, you know, it's like an icebreaker. You get to hear everybody, you get to meet everybody. I think Rishi ji was like, no, I don't do these things. So that day, सन एंड सैंड में हम सब पहले वहाँ पर पहुँच गए. सारी पूरी कास्ट, about 20 of us, और बड़ी सी टेबल लगी हुई है. Then once everybody is there, then I think the call went to him कि नहीं, अब सब आ गए, आप आइए. Then he comes and he sits at the head of the table. And he says, देखो, I have other work. I'm going to leave in half an hour. मैं तो ये रीडिंग मीटिंग करने वाला भी नहीं हूँ. Somebody else is going to read my lines. And मैं तो ये करता भी नहीं हूँ. ये तो अमित जी करते हैं, and he has told me that it's a very good exercise, but really it's not for me. Then the script reading began. One by everybody's reading the script, and he started enjoying it so much. He had such a wonderful time. at the end of it, after 2.5 hours, everybody has left. Everybody's left. I have left. Chintu ji was still there with him.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. They were like, are you not supposed to be going home anymore?
He was the last person to leave that day.
He was the last person to leave that day.
I remember he
So it was so cute. That was Chintu ji. That is Chintu ji. आके पहले डांट देंगे and then he'll warm up to everybody.
Yeah. What about you, Farhan?
Yeah, I've got so many memories of him from the time that I was a kid, you know. And then, of course, we worked together on Luck by Chance.
Luck by Chance, yeah.
And apart from that, I would love bumping into him whenever I went out. You know, he was just filled with like life. He was filled with like stories.
Yeah.
He would make you laugh, you know, and he was very insightful, you know, as well. I remember once I was on a flight back from Delhi to Bombay, and we just happened to be sitting next to each other. Right? So he's sitting next to me and he's saying, "तो अब तू क्या कर रहा है?" So I said, I'm in prep for a movie. This that शुरू कब होने वाली है? So I said, अगले साल जून में. अगले साल? Have you gone mad? He's like, यार, you know, you guys of this generation, you're not doing one film in 2 years, one film in 3 years. The time will go by. You all will be old. हाँ? जब तक बुढ़े हो जाओगे 3 फिल्म की होगी तूने. He's like, you'll have to work more. So he would keep giving, and in his own style.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain to him, I'm like, you know, but Rishi uncle, you have to also like get into the script. What nonsense? What script? He's like, you have to work. You're an actor. You have to keep working. And just like this, you know, like, so I miss his company.
Yeah.
You know, he was awesome company. And no filter. What was on his mind, he would say, which everyone, like you said that, you know, people, it could intimidate.
Yeah.
But there's also a genuineness to it.
Absolutely.
You know, there is, he is who he is. You know, and he doesn't mince his words with anyone. It doesn't make a difference who you are.
Absolutely.
He says what's on his mind. And that, I respected that, you know, tremendously about him. And I just have wonderful memories of him.
You know, Sharmaji has a lot of him and a lot of us because it deals with food. Inherently, we all are foodies. We just love different cuisines. So I want to know कि ये तो इंटरव्यू खत्म ही नहीं हो सकता अगर हम लोग ये ना बात करें कि कभी किचन में जाके कुक किया है और अगर किया है तो सबसे बड़ा किचन डिजास्टर क्या किया?
ये अच्छा all of us
मैं शुरू करता हूँ. I'll speak. I actually went through a phase of cooking from about 2004 till about 2009.
Okay. 5 years.
5 years. Like, I got obsessed with cooking. And I actually got pretty good at it as well. Right? But there was this one disaster that I had, which I tried making some South Asian prawn kind of preparation. And I got that, the sauce mix wrong. You're supposed to put a little bit of some kind of, like a baking soda type of thing, you know, in it that gives it a little bit of some body. And I think I overdid that. In that, and when I poured it over, it just kind of congealed. Like, it became like a prawn chicky. You know? It's kind of what happened to it. Yeah.
Did you put
like some very weird
corn flour?
Yeah, corn flour.
Yeah.
So it just became like a very weird, like, kind of, you could
Sticky
cut
thing.
it. Yeah, you could cut it and eat it in pieces. And not that it tasted good when you cut it in pieces. So that was my kitchen disaster. But apart from that, I did pretty well.
Wow, great. Good cook. Juhi ma'am, do you cook?
So for a little while, I have to say this, it was quite funny. My daughter, about 4 or 5 years ago, she bought a cookbook by this young girl, Ella. Ella had a bit of a story where as a teenager, she used to eat junk food all the time. And then she got so ill because of that then she, you know, one day it came to a point where she was almost like gone. And the turnaround was when her doctor or somebody well-meaning said, you have to change the foods you eat.
Yeah.
And from that moment, she only started having good ingredients from the house, almonds, avocado, whatever. Ye sab khane lagi. And then she started making her own recipes, which were very easy to put together and very nutritious. Ye kitab meri beti mere ko de rahi hai. Okay? She said, Mom, you wanna try this? And I don't know how to cook.
No.
तो मैंने बोला नहीं, but I was like, मेरी बेटी सीख जाएगी. How it is, you know, that कि ये गलत खाने से क्या हो सकता है? And this is the way. I started trying to make those recipes at home with my cook. After 3-4 days, they said, Mummy, please don't make any more of this.
Cook ne bhi
नहीं मतलब ये please मत कल आप मत बनाओ. We are done with it. So they only told me to please stop. So उसके बाद मैंने फिर छोड़ दिया.
Do you cook?
occasionally. Like I'm a Sunday cook. कि कभी मेरे को ऐसा बहुत मन है तो आओ चलो आज मैं कुक करता हूँ ये वो. But unfortunately 10 में से 8 बार वो कुछ ना कुछ disaster story ही बन जाती है उसकी. मैं पूरे दिल से करता हूँ but I don't know, something just goes wrong. So it's like, you know, I don't really attempt it that much.
What about you, Taaruk?
I have once got my dorm evacuated by mistake. I was in college.
What?
Yes. I was in college and
Dom.
Yeah, but that is quite serious.
He made a killer biryani.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much. I was on Skype with my mom and she was telling me how to make paneer. And I was in Sydney, तो थोड़ा ऐसे मैं वहाँ के मसाले ला रहा हूँ. वहाँ का पनीर भी अलग है. तो everything is it's my first week. I don't know fire alarm, what, where.
Ah, correct.
Oh,
So
that's
it's happening, and I'm like, wow, kya tadka hai? I'm a great guy. And then suddenly, people are running out. I'm wondering what the hell happened. I'm actually looking for the problem, and turns out that was
You
me.
are the problem.
You are the problem.
and it's shameful because my dad's a chef, so like I should know how to do something, but clearly it wasn't. So I've given up on cooking.
You've inherited other things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for you just got married, so we first should congratulate you. It was such a happy vibe. Like whenever we see, so I'm telling you about my team at least, especially, we were waiting for those pictures. And we're like, अच्छा, हर किसी के शादी के pictures में वो होता है ना कि अरे देख के लगता है कि हमारी life में क्यों ऐसा नहीं है. So you know when yours came, we all were thinking, we felt it is so relatable. We could also be one of them. Other people are like a little bit, I shouldn't like say it, but थोड़ा मतलब लगता है कि यार मतलब हाई-फाई वेडिंग है. But यहाँ पे ना अपना लगा कि ये was that planned? Because Farhan, you are in that space now. You don't like, you like simple
I want to
things.
know what this has to do with Sharmaji Namkeen.
No, I want to know.
इससे क्या लेना देना?
But Shadi, this is your first film after Shadi.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I mean, we did what we felt was comfortable and would make, to start with, Shibani and myself happy, because you need to enjoy your own wedding.
Yeah.
I find it very difficult. I feel bad for the couple when sometimes attend a wedding and they don't look like they're having fun. It's their day.
True.
You know, so we wanted to be happy ourselves and keep it very intimate and just warm. And that's what we hope to achieve. And I'm glad you felt that way when you saw it.
No, but I'm going back home on 15th, so I'm going to watch this movie with my father for sure. And I hope I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. And I hope that he also understands what you want to say through the film and takes his medicines on time. That's all I need. Otherwise, it's fine. But thank you, because I know this is a special film for all of you. And thank you for backing the film, making sure the film releases, the film is complete, and having your heart at the right place. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.